Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad, this is my channel Adamant Orange, and welcome to the review, or a review, for Soundwave, one of the Transformers Legends models from Metal Earth. You see I've got him all built here on my little magnetic base so he doesn't so easily fall off. And this is my second Transformers Legends model from Metal Earth. The Transformers Legends models are in many ways very similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy Legends models. When the Legends models first came out, they were DC and Marvel characters. They had a very similar style, a very similar structure in the way that they built, especially the legs and torso. Guardians of the Galaxy came out and they made some changes both to the way the legs and body come together and to the paint. The finish is a little bit different. I talked about that very briefly in the Megatron Legends model build, which I've already done. I won't go too much into that with this one, except to say that the body and legs are again very similar to those Guardians of the Galaxy Legends models. So that makes it a very familiar setup in the way this comes together. The arms are very different because there's a lot more detail to the arms. And I've only done 2 of the Transformers Legends models so far, but basically they have a lot more extra parts and details to them. I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying the extra details and structures and additions to the Legends model. It's not overwhelming. It gives it a lot of nice added detail without making it too much. And it does make it a more complicated build, but I think it really works. It really works. These G1 Transformers models, these first generations characters, are a little more boxy and square, and this Legends style works really well for them. And I really appreciate how Metal Earth has taken it a step farther with Megatron and with Soundwave right here and added little extra parts, extra details to it. I mean, this kind of replaces the hair of some of the DC characters, and these shoulder pieces kind of replace the sword or shield. But then you've got, like, the arms are a little more bulgy, and there's a couple of extra pieces to give them that shape. You've got some extra detail on the legs, like what looks to be a little bit of a wheel piece back here that kind of adds a little extra detail beyond what you'd normally see on the Legends model. I really appreciate that. I think that's awesome. I don't mind the extra work. I'm really enjoying the extra detail, and I think they've done it really well with the 2 models that I've built so far. In the Megatron video, I had talked about how it would be difficult to mess up the arms when putting them together because of all the different sections. What Metal Earth had done is added a 3rd tab in there, so a lot of those parts only come together one way. As long as you fold them the correct way, the parts are forcing you, the tab, that extra tab is forcing you to put them together the correct way, with the exception of the fist. Now with Soundwave, it was very much similar. There's a couple of parts that you could still get backwards because there was only 2 tabs, so just pay attention to the way things are oriented in the pictures and on, well, in the instructions or assembly flowchart and pictures for reference, to make sure you're getting like this cuff piece right here on correctly and that flap on the correct side. And the fists are again only 2 tabs, so you have to pay attention to which way you're adding them on. One thing I did make the mistake of is there's a little piece inside the arm that's joining the arm to the body, and I actually got those backwards. But apparently it doesn't make a difference, or at least not a noticeable difference, because the arms are sitting just fine. Just make sure that when you put that piece on the arm that it's angled the correct way, and it turns out okay. So I got those 2 pieces mixed up, and if you follow along with the build video, and there's a link in the description down below, you'll see what I did there. It really isn't noticeable. If I hadn't said anything, you wouldn't have known I mixed the parts up. The way the legs come together, I've heard some people complain about it. I really like the way these legs come together a lot better than the original Legends models. It makes more sense. It's easier to step by step do, for me anyway. I really enjoy the redesign. And unlike Megatron, there isn't extra flaps on here to get me confused. There is this little piece with a wheel thing. There's a couple of things I want to say about this. I'm honestly not sure if this on the back of the leg is wheels or speakers, because from what I remember, and it's been a long time since I've watched the original Transformers, but from what I remember, he was a boombox. You know, the old 80s boom boxes you put on your shoulder. That's what he was. I used to have Soundwave in boombox form when I was a kid. But these look like wheels, and he doesn't have wheels, so I'm not sure if you are very familiar with Megatron and all his orientations, maybe you can shed some light on what's going on there. I kind of feel like maybe somebody made a mistake. Are those supposed to be speakers? Is that supposed to be a wheel? What is on the back of his legs? I'm not real sure. If you have any input on that, leave it in the comments down below. I'm curious to hear. I looked at a few pictures online, but everything I saw looked like he was a radio. So they would have to be speakers, but they seem to have tread on them. I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm going to talk about, as far as building it, the instructions just vaguely indicate to curve the flat piece that sticks out. Don't even really indicate to fold it over. There's a flat piece that sticks out. You have to put a curve on it, and then you have to fold it over. And they indicate the curve, and I know one of my Patreon supporters, who I talk with from time to time, I did not see that clearly in the instructions, but of course guessed what it's supposed to do, because it's not too difficult to figure it out. But the instructions do not clearly say to bend it over and curve it. It's just like a vague little arrow there that you can easily miss. So, well, something that could be improved in the instructions, but I wonder if that's even supposed to be there. That's something for debate. Enjoyable, quick little build. It took about an hour to put together. Not quite as long as Megatron, because there's a little less detail to add to the legs. So it's still really fun. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the extra detail. Don't mind putting in a few extra minutes for it. Wonderful model. I really appreciate it. Just a little puzzled about what's on the back of his legs. I'll leave it at that. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters for their support and help making these videos possible and give me the freedom to make these videos, build videos, review videos, and so on. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these videos, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. A little bit goes a long way to help me continue to make these videos, buy these models, and review them for you and build them for you. Check out links in the description down below. Here's a second at the end of the video. Again, thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.